Hi everybody, welcome back to the Claremont Classic Garage. Today we went to a shop auction and it's part one of two. So we shot part one of it today and part two will be, well, a week from now. But I'll make it all into one video. There was enough stuff there that there wasn't really enough stuff to make two auctions. The place was too tight. They couldn't have sold everything today and have all the buyers in there. It just would have been gridlock, eh? So anyway, this place was a local guy, a car guy. You know, he had a big shop out behind his house. Now he's downsizing, you know, and they auctioned off a whole bunch of stuff. It was pretty heavy on Ford stuff, but earlier than the stuff we normally mess with, you know, 40s, 50s, even some stuff back into the 30s, Ford. There was a bunch of Chevy stuff there too, but we were mostly interested in the Ford stuff. So right now I'll kind of interject in here and we'll go for a little tour around the place before I start showing you what we got. That's a disc brake 8.8 from a Fox Mustang. I bid and bid on that, but I couldn't get it. Don't remember seeing that. Stuff everywhere back here. Little humpback Ford with the flathead still in it. Mustang coupe. Moving this might be a little difficult without a giant magnet. If there's anything left of it that's still actually magnetic. Cute little Ford truck, eh? Looks like a 351M. Somebody bought this International 354 for $95. Not bad. All this stuff over here is the stuff that's going to be in part two of the auction. There's a part two coming up. So we have to, that's going to be live, I think, next week. So we'll have to see what we're after on that one. This little Chevy wagon. Oh man, somebody be wanting that. This Jeep here, this Jeep sat behind the gas station in Claremont ever since I can remember. It was their plow truck that they used for their yard or for the lot at the gas station, and I always wondered what happened to it. Well, here it is. '57 Meteor, 58. Here's a Ford unit body truck. You don't see these every day. Wow. '57 wagon. Buildings are just full. Nick is here too. So we're just giving him a hand, hauling his loot out. So here's this. It's a set of dual exhaust off, you know, something. Whatever it was, it had a pair of block hugger center dump headers on it. There's the collectors for them. But we got this for $10. You know, the mufflers are decent looking. I don't think it's 2 1/4 inch pipe. It might be 2 1/8. And there's just all kinds of little bits and pieces, little bends. You can cut this up and make all kinds of stuff out of it. You could use those two mufflers on something. For $10, it's well worth it. We got all this pile of stuff. It was various lots, you know. This, it just said stack of air cleaners. I got it for the minimum bid, $2. Unfortunately, there's nothing really I can use here. The top two for sure are GM for quadrajets. They just look funny when you put them on anything else. So, I don't know. We'll see what we do with them. There's always the swap meet, right? Here, I got this whole lot of light bulbs. Also, I think for $2. And these have got the old school car headlights, eh? And we'll pick through here. There's some lug nuts in there. There's just all kinds of good looking stuff in here. For $2, I figured it was worth it. Look, there's a Mopar window crank. So we'll see what we get out of this, if anything. This stuff here, a couple of winch handles. They're handy to have around. This all came as one lot. I just wanted these, you know, when we put alternators on the old tractors and stuff, you're always looking for alternator straps, right? It came with this cool chrome Chevy timing cover, but you can see somebody destroyed it trying to change the seal, so that is now wall art. Got a chrome voltage regulator for something. Some center caps. This whole bunch of shifters came as one lot. You can always use shifter handles. That brake booster came with something. I didn't buy that because I needed it. Oh, this stuff kind of came as one lot here. I was interested in this 2-barrel Holley carburetor. You can see there it's got a Ford kickdown linkage on it. So what this is good for, if you get, say you got a 4-barrel Holley carburetor, but it didn't have the Ford kickdown linkage on it, you could take the throttle shaft out of this one and swap it over. Or if you've got, I kind of think this one, judging by the throttle bores, I kind of think this one's a 500. So if you had a Ford with a stock, like a little 2100 2-barrel carburetor on it, you can plop this baby on there and it'd be almost as good as having a 600 4-barrel if it really is a 500 2-barrel. I'm having a hard time reading the list number on it. It's not punched too deep. We'll work on that later and see if we can figure out what the heck it is. I got this. I've got an engine stand over in the barn that I bought at the auction, and it's missing all these things. So I finally got a set of them for it. Here, this again, I think it came with the lot that the carburetor is in, but it's one of those old underdash air conditioners, you know. Guys like putting these in the old cars. They look kind of cool, right? And if you were stuck for a heater, right? If you were stuck for a heater, you could actually, if you were building a hot rod or something and you had nowhere on the firewall to put a heater, you could actually use this. You could either put a heater core in here, or maybe you could run antifreeze through that. I don't know. There's always a use for this stuff, you know. I got these garage door springs, and well, frankly, in real life, they're a lot bigger than they looked in the picture. But you never know. Everything gets used up for something sooner or later. Got 2 old steering boxes, again, for like literally a couple of bucks. They look like they weighed more than what I paid for them, if you get the drift. I got this set of 4 wheels, mostly because I wanted this one just to hang up in the barn somewhere. It's just too cool, eh? A vintage radial TA on an old 15x7 slot. Looks like it's Ford bolt pattern too. And to get it, it came with this. That looks like a Ford truck wheel with a wide white on it. Z28 wheel. I'm going to give that to Nick. And this old forged aluminum Lincoln wheel, which hopefully weighs enough that it'll pay for at the scales what I paid for the 4 of them. Now we come to the heavy stuff. I bought 4 rear ends. It's kind of a long story why I bought 4 rear ends. There was only one that I was kind of after, and the problem was that some of the pictures got mixed up, and I wasn't able to make it out there for the preview. So luckily they were going by for cheap. It was just me fighting against the scrap metal guys, and 3 of them I got for $10. each, you know, so that wasn't so bad. So I just, to eliminate the possibility that because the pictures were mixed up, I was getting something I wasn't thinking I was getting, well, I just bought them all. This one here, the first out, I kind of looked at it. I looked at the shape of it. I looked at the tapered axle hubs and wheel bolts, not studs. And this pin here, I'm pretty sure this is a Chrysler rear end from the 40s or the early 50s. I don't think you can actually call it an 8 3/4, even though that's exactly what it looks like. But I'm pretty sure this is a Chrysler rear end. When I get some time, I'm going to take a couple of pictures of it and go up to the barn and look at one that I've got that I know is a Chrysler rear end, and then we'll know for sure. This is an odd looking little fellow. We're going to see what clues we can get from it. It's got a strange shaped cover, but it does have a tag on it. So I'm going to see if I can get that off of there and clean it up and see what it says on it. Well, I can't really make anything out from that. The bolt pattern on this thing is a little strange. It's like 5 1/4, or that's what, you know, my crude measuring. That's what it looks like. It's a 5 1/4 bolt pattern. I don't know. I've never heard of that. Anyway, whatever. We'll continue working on that. I'm gonna look at pictures of rear end covers and see if I can find one with that kind of oddball oblong shape, and that'll give us a clue. Here's another one of our $10 rear ends, and when I went to get it, I said, okay, that looks like a Chevy 10 bolt, and then I saw this limited use limited slip diff fluid only. So theoretically it at least has a tag for a posi rear end. Let's see if it actually is a posi. So watch this. I'm going to continue turning the pinion this way, and you can see that axle's driving the car forward. Now theoretically, if it was a one-wheel peeler, this one would be going the other way, but it's not. It's also driving the car forward. And if we try to stop one of them, we'll hold that with our knee, we suddenly can't turn the pinion because of the clutch pack in here. So yes, this is a GM 10 bolt posi. So we could tell by looking at it, it's from a leaf spring car. So that'll narrow things down to, you know, a Nova, that platform, Nova, Ventura, Apollo, etc., Skylark, or Firebird Camaro. That's what this thing is. I have measured it already. It's 61 inches flange to flange. That equates with a 70s Firebird or Nova. So what we need to do now is see if we can figure out what gear this thing is. If it came from a Z28, it's probably a 342. Although I think you could get them with a 373 also. I lost my piece of chalk. So we'll mark this axle right here, top, right? And then we'll mark this yoke here. And see how many times we have to turn this yoke to get that axle to turn once. So you have to kind of have eyes in the back of your head, but let's see here. So there's one turn. Okay. There's two turns. Yep. There's three turns. No sign of it yet. Okay. Let's see how much more turning it takes to make this thing come. 4. and a half. That's quite interesting. So this thing has a 450 gear in it. Here's the next one, or the kind of the one I've been waiting to have a look at. This is a Ford, an early 8-inch or a light duty 8-inch. I think it's also actually a 7 3/4, but there's so many Ford rear ends, and it's like a gobbledygook language. But anyway, this one here is from, judging by the codes on it, it's from a 66 or 67 Fairlane. The 5-bolt wheels would attest to that. It's a 280 one-wheel peel. But guys will put these in old hot rods because they've got that smooth-looking back, and they, you know, they'll take a little bit of power. And the 280 gear, you can drive around all day with that. So here's our loot from part 2 of the Ford auction. On the ground here, we've got this here rear end. It was going by. I got it for dirt cheap. I'm pretty sure it's out of an early 50s F100 truck. It's got a 5.5-inch bolt pattern, and it looks, I can vaguely remember the one that was in my dad's 53, the original rear end. And I'm pretty sure it was one of these. And it was just a bunch of knick-knacky stuff. I bought, there was a couple of things I bought for like $2 just because I wanted the totes that they were in, right? But we got some, you know, some good stuff. This is pretty cool. This is an old double oil filter. This would be off a race car, right? The remains of a Holly blue pump. I think that's pretty much junk. An alternator bracket. This, I was just after that, and it came with all this stuff. Some bits and pieces. These mirrors I thought kind of interesting. You know, I kind of like them. They might, you know, good on a tractor, you know. They look too handy. Maybe I could figure out exactly what they're off, if there's a number on them or something. But anyway, I got some manifolds. These all came all three together. These two are Mopar ones. They're from 64 through 67, 273 Commando. So that means it's a single plane, small port. These work great on a 273 or a 318, despite them being a single plane. And they came with this one, which is for a 62 or 63 327 Corvette engine, allegedly. I just went by the casting number. Now, you can see there C62. I'm assuming that that's March of 62 that this thing was cast. And it fits. Yes, Corvette comes up, but I'm sure it fits all 327 4-barrel engines in that era. I got to do a little bit more research. And there's just a bunch of little bits and pieces. These are kind of neat. Rear armrests out of something. Got some mirrors. A bunch of newish ignition parts. This is neat. This is off an old 6-cylinder engine, man, with the push-on spark plug wires. This is old. Pretty cool though, whatever it is. And I got a couple of nice choke cables. So all in all, we didn't really spend all that much on all this stuff. So I'm quite happy with it. It was a good, really good, fun 2 auctions. I would have bought a lot more stuff, but a lot of other people were interested in it as well. And the prices, you know, it's an auction, right? People bid. So, but we did okay. We got some stuff. We got some stuff to show you. And I did get one thing there that I can't show you right now because it's not here. And when it comes, it'll be its whole own video. But it should be here. It's Sunday now. We're going back to get that on Wednesday. It was just, I couldn't get it out today. It was too busy there. Man, all of a sudden it got sunny out here. It's hard to get a good camera shot in. But anyway, I think we're okay now. I guess that'll do it for the Ford auction. That was fun. I've been to several. This is like the 3rd big Ford auction that we've been to and got some goodies from. I don't usually find too many Mopar auctions. I don't really even see Chevy auctions. Just, I guess it's just, you know, coincidence or whatever that we've been to 3 good-sized Ford auctions and got quite a bit of stuff from them. Anyway, whatever. We'll keep watching them and see what else we can find. I really enjoy it. Anyway, that'll do it for now. I would like to thank you, as always, for tuning into the Claremont Classic Garage. I hope you'll come back and see us again, because you never know what we'll be up to. Until then, I'm Kevin saying so long for now.